Cool. Gents, how are we doing? Hope you're well. All right, so just going to go over a quick brief about what we're going to do in this um, Zoom link. So we're going to go over the course so far, kind of talk about forward thinking, forward planning, and then we're just going to do a Q&A, which I think is the most powerful thing, really going through people that want to open up and share what their experience of the program has been so far. I think, let me just let these guys in. I think when we met the first time, it was the end of the first week. We're at the end of week 3 now. So I'm hoping that for a lot of you that I hear, we've definitely progressed on that spiral upwards, if you like, and feeling a little bit better, a little bit more organized. All right. So what I really want to do is review the process, what we've done so far. I think what's really important to do this is for you to really follow that journey, if you like, from day 1 to like now. And let me just mute everybody. Guys, if you are on, just make sure you're on mute for me. Otherwise, the background noise will interfere. So the first week, we very much looked at self-awareness. Okay, we looked at where you were in terms of your life audit. We looked at terms of where some of the issues were in terms of how did you get to that position in the first place. I feel that was a really important session to understand how you got to where you did, to recognize yourself more. And we kind of looked at, like, you know, what were the triggers, what were the influences, what were the distractions, what were the reasons that we actually slipped into that place in the first place, why you ended up here on the screen in front of me, right? Second week, we looked at what I feel is the backbone of all of your successes, and that is routine and management of your routine. So we looked at morning routines, we looked at transitional routines, we looked at where you're going to be in 10 years. Now, where you were going to be at the end of 10 years was kind of a big plan for a lot of you. It was a really big deal, because when we spoke last time, we didn't really know how to do that. And I'm hoping that, like, whilst you've been on this course, you're starting to understand maybe what you want a little bit more out of life, and the importance of unconditional planning. Okay, so just imperfect action. So being able to, like, do something and then perfect it as you go along, I think is a real strong proposition. And then we kind of looked at where your time and your energy are going. We looked at how to create rules, to create discipline. And we've ended up getting to this point here where we are right now, where the last task that I got you to do was very much about where you're going to be in the next 90 days. Now, whether you're staying on with us in the mastermind, whether you're continuing by yourself, this is relevant in both respects. Now, some of you who did the 5 days would have worked the 5 days and you would have had that 5-day outcome. So where you wanted to be at the end of the 5 days, then you joined the 28-day. And if you did the pre-course task of writing down what life looks like for you at the end of 28 days, you would have written maybe a visualization of what you would have liked to have achieved over these 28 days. Now, whether you reach that or not is probably determined on whether how much effort and distraction has happened or gone on throughout the course, or how much you've thrown yourself into the course. But at the end of those 28 days, you're going to kind of look at yourself and look at what you wrote and kind of have this outcome of wherever it's going to be. You know, have you achieved your goals? Have you achieved what you wanted to do? Now, what's important is the next stage for many of you. And it's the case, and I see this all of the time, and we've been doing this for a long time now. The guys that are not planning forwards, that are not planning the next steps, okay, are the guys that are going to be back to where they were in 2 weeks. All right. It is important to understand that task where I set you to set your 90-day tasks, you have to have a time specific goal orientation action plan. Okay. Because without that, you are going to crumble. Like, if you, not so much if you've got structure, if you've got a platform to be able to keep you accountable, but this is especially for those guys. If you're gonna make sure that these 28 days count, it really is predicated on the next 90 days, because you're going to go two of one ways. You are either going to go you're going to go leaps and bounds above what you're capable of, or you're going to be back to where you were in 2 weeks. And you might think there and go, well, it's definitely not going to happen. You know, I've got accountability. I've picked up some mates in this group. Trust me when I say it doesn't matter what WhatsApp groups you've set up. It doesn't matter what you've got in place, unless you have a clear plan of the next 90 days or whatever you're doing. In 2 weeks after this course, you're going to be back to where you were. Maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. But because there is no direction, and I can't emphasize the importance of your 90-day plan, okay, and how you are going to achieve it. Okay, otherwise, what you'll end up doing is coming all the way up here on the 28th day. Okay, you'll then end up like being a boat without a sail or compass, and you'll end up drifting. Your goals have to challenge you. They have to create passion. They have to make you want to get up. They have to make you keep doing everything you've done so far in terms of your time management, your accountability, your timetabling. You have to make sure that you're going to be structured and you're moving forwards in the right direction, so that at the end of 90 days, July, August, so by the end of September, you have a clear idea about what you want to have achieved across the 4 pillars. Okay. It's really important that you do this. Otherwise, this whole process has been for nothing. Okay, the whole process has been for nothing. I always talk to like anyone that I have worked with, whether it's the 5-day challenge, 28-day mastermind, or my roundtable. What is the alternative to you not doing this? Okay, and I got you guys to do that and write that and stick it on the back of your phone. So a constant reminder of why you've got to show up every single day. But if there is no target, if there is no end game plan, if there is no specific goals that you've set where you're going to be at the end of September, you're going to start questioning why you have to do something. You're going to allow yourself lazy habits. You're going to allow yourself to drift. Okay. And you're going to end up increasing by 1% all your bad habits again. Okay. So I can't emphasize it enough. So what I'm going to do is open up. If there's people that want to talk to me on here, just wave and we will get to everybody. Let's go. Look, no one's waving. So I'm going to have to pick someone. Anyone want to volunteer? Just wave. Fucking chicken shits. Right, I'm going to this guy right here. This beast of a man. Leon. Can you hear me? So tell me what you've got planned for the next 90 days.
I'm still working for it, but I've joined up to the mastermind, so that's to keep me accountable and to focus my mind. But I've got a half marathon planned for the 4th of July. By the end of October, I want to do a marathon, and ultimately 12-month wise, I want to do 100 miles.
Are you going to do the 100 with us, are you?
I am indeed, yeah. I just need to get the training plan in place. But
I've got a training plan for you. That's fine. I'll give you the training plan.
Yeah, awesome. But yeah, that's I'm doing most of mine around fitness, but there's also a desire to do something business-wise as well. I'm not quite sure what it is. I've been in my current role for like the last 11 years now. So I'm just not sure I'm fulfilled by it anymore. So I'm looking at maybe side hustles and things like that to maybe refocus me in that direction.
Okay.
Relationship-wise, I've got a wife and a family and 3 children, similar to yourself.
Yeah.
So busy from that perspective. So just making sure I'm getting time and effort in there where possible.
Okay.
So yeah, but mainly it's around the fitness side of things, really.
Okay, that's fine. So next Saturday, the guys that are coming on board, we're doing a workshop for the 90 days to go into detail on it. So we'll talk more about that on there. Tell me what your struggles are right now in terms of the planning.
Yeah, if I'm being brutally honest, just giving it the time. I mean, I'm getting up a lot earlier. So before I probably rolled out of bed at 7:30, if I'm being honest. But since doing the 5-day, the 28-day, I'm now getting up at 5 religiously, Monday to Friday. I'm doing all my PD stuff from there.
Yeah.
And then following on from that, by the time I get back home, it's kind of prep for the day, and then work just takes up such a significant part. So literally from 8:30 in the morning till 6:30, 6:45 at night, I'll be out because of work. And then when I'm getting home, it's like family time, and then it's just trying to fit everything in. So it's not that.
When do you think is the best time to do it?
I need to do it today, and I will do it today. But it's literally Monday to Friday is literally like non-stop.
It's a really good point, and I think what you're presenting is a really good point, and this is for everybody. Like when you set your 90-day goals, this is not something that you get a scrap of A4 paper from the printer from, or like a scrap of paper and you write something down. This is something that you have to connect with, and like so. Whenever I do my 90-day ones, I literally spend half a day doing it. I like to dedicate half a day just like when I haven't got anything on, usually at the weekend, and I just sit down and figure out what I want to do. Now, one of the reasons that I got all of you to do your 10-year plan, as vague as it might have been for you and hard as it might have been, that would kind of give you an indication of where you want to be at 5 years, 3 years, and 1 year. And your 12-week plan should be in alignment with trying to achieve the end of the year plan. So something we'll do next week, Leon, is figure out where you're going to be at the end of the year, for example. And that is going to make things very much easier for you in terms of knowing where you're going to be in the next 12 weeks. But in terms of time, guys, yeah, Monday to Friday is big hustle for everyone. We all work. We've all got things going on, right? And I think that you have to give this your utmost attention and respect in terms of being away from the kids, being away from everything. This is important. This is like half a day, maybe 2-3 hours, 4 hours, however long it takes to dedicate in how you're going to map out the next 12 weeks. Okay. Now I want to give you all another kind of tip in terms of when you create your 12-week plan, look at creating 12 weekly outcomes. All right, so think of a jigsaw puzzle with 12 pieces. And at the end of each week, you are going to create a jigsaw piece that at the end of 12 weeks is going to form this puzzle, like whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So when you write down these goals in this 12 weeks, there should be, once you've done your goals, you then have to go away and go into a little bit more depth and go, right, these are my 12 outcomes that must be achieved by this date, okay? That will set you out a little bit of structure, and it will allow you to prioritize a lot more time and energy into those outcomes. Okay, and you're learning to prioritize, and then you learn to prioritize your time and your energy, and then we don't become such a cluster. Does that make sense? Okay, Leon, so you've got time. You've got till next week anyway, so same for everyone. Everyone's got till next week, so you've still got a week to do these, but I just want to give you, by the time we've spoken to everyone and we've talked about problems and things that problems people are facing, you should have a little more clearer understanding. Thanks, Leon. Well volunteered for the first one. Okay, anyone want to come on? Talk about their goals, talk about the struggles that are going on with. Yeah, there we go. Yes, Stuart. Go, Stu.
Hi, mate. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I've got you good, mate.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's been an interesting 3 weeks, actually, because when I did the 5 days, I'd already read your book beforehand.
Yeah.
And I'd worked out some of the processes in the book, and I'd already started a little bit of development on myself. And then I did the 5 days, which were great. And then the 28 days kicked in, and I started off like, I think like a few others, like, yeah, I've got this. Within about 4 days, I was like, shit, I've dropped all the balls. I've not completed any of my tasks. I'm all over the place. And I think you then stepped up and went, you're trying to hit here, and what you're capable of is here. Yeah. So I've managed to balance them better now, and my week's been progressing. To be fair, I think it was last week that I managed to get them to a stage where I was finishing a week and saying, right, that was tough going.
Yeah.
But in a good way, I managed to get pretty much everything ticked off, bar maybe a couple of things, but I'll just whack them on and do them next week.
Yeah. Nice. I always think of what you're talking about, Stuart, as like being at the start of a race. So let's say the start of a marathon, okay, half marathon. And at the start of the race, you go off like Usain Bolt, and thinking that like quite you can maintain that pace throughout the process. Okay. And it's kind of like, I see people get, when people start to grow and people start to be part of something that really benefits them, there tends to be this huge, overwhelming feeling of adrenaline and optimism. And we then suddenly, what you're talking about and what I talked about in that little graph, in that video I talked about, we suddenly then feel that we're unstoppable. So we raise our expectations up nice and high and think we can run like Usain Bolt over a half marathon distance. And after about 2-3 miles, we then suddenly like crash and burn, right? And then suddenly we're like, I can't do all of this. And this is what the important thing is. This is for everybody that, and I stated this at the very start, that you're not going to be where you want to be at the 28 days. This 28 days is very much like a boot camp of education, if you like, of like, from not being in a process. So like for you guys, you never would have been in this process. What you've done is in 28 days is learn more about yourself, learn about somebody else's model and structure for you to then integrate that into your own lifestyle and your own time and well-being. And I think this never ends until the day you die. And one of the reasons I do the vlog is really to show everybody that I still go through, I still haven't got this squared away. I still go through all the same struggles. I still think I can achieve everything too much. And my expectations are here and I don't always kind of meet those ones. And I become that clusterfuck in the black zone, if you like, you know, that dark, the black hole, as I call it. It just sucks you in and then suddenly you become very overwhelmed. So the first thing as well to understand, Stu, is that you definitely won't be the only one that's done that. Like, you know, I've been doing this course for a long time. We've developed the course to, I think, be the best. This is definitely the best course we've run. But it doesn't matter what we do. You have to understand that there's still lots for you to learn. And even if you're not staying with us, it doesn't matter, because the group will be archived and you can always go back to that group whenever you want to watch the videos, to watch the content, to read the comments, just to keep reminding you, you've got that forever, that this never stops, right? This never stops. And I always say, it took 4 years for all of you guys to sit in front of me. All of 4 years. For me, when I started working online, which this was initially a side hustle, and I had to go through a whole process of stress, hard work, learning, overwhelm, frustration, just to even get to this point. And we still got more work to do. So in terms of your life, where you want to be, you know, maybe in a year's time, you're going to be a lot further down the line where you want to be, because you're going to learn more from the process. And I think when we try to achieve too much too soon, we cram our brains and then we just burn out. We burn the microchip.
I looked at it was probably about a month ago actually. I had a wobble, and I was just shattered, really, really knackered. And the same thing happened on Thursday this week. I've been having a really, really good week business wise. I think the difficult for me is I'm not just trying to look at all areas. I'm trying to lose 2.5 stone because I'm a fat old bastard and I don't want to be anymore. 2, you know, I've got to get my head space right to get off my lazy fat ass in the first place to go and exercise.
Yeah.
So it's mindset, it's physical stuff, and I've decided to set up a business this year. So nice. I'm really ploughing at all of them, and it's sort of, you know, you sort of think, well, just focus on one thing, and then move. But it sort of have to do. I'm in for all of them now. Yeah. And I think on Thursday, I went out. I completely changed my morning. I didn't do my morning routine because I knew I'd be out exercise and stuff later. So I've sort of modelled things about. But come 7 o'clock that night, I was literally here, passed out, and I knew that it was burnout time. Yeah. So I just turned off all my alarms. I said, I'll get up when I get up on Friday. I'll do my review of the week, and I'll think about what's next. So if that had happened 5-6 weeks ago, I'd have been, I'm fucking no good. I can't even get through a week without being tired and all that sort of shit. But I didn't do that. Yeah. I looked at it, I processed it and went, hang on, this is technically the end of my 12-week period. Yeah. So I'm due a week off to reflect on stuff. Yeah. And that's why I'm fucked, because I've been hammering this now for that amount of time. So I didn't let it overwhelm me. I chilled out. It's now the weekend. I've had a beer.
Good.
I'm pretty good. And I've just seen there's an email come through that I'm on the mastermind. So,
Oh, there you go. Boom.
so sweet as. Whoever wants to go next, crack on. It's all good.
So I
Good,
think
Jay.
the Stuart, the biggest thing there that I can identify by what you're talking about is your increase in self-awareness and your ability to recognize actually what's going on, which is huge. And what you talked about was absolutely right. So like we are halfway through the year now, and I think anyone who's in any career, most of us at least would have had one holiday by now, maybe through the Easter holidays with the kids or something. So like I usually at the end, I'm the same as you, the last week of every quarter, I usually go away with the mastermind I'm part of, and we go somewhere around the world and we do some work and we connect with people, right? And I think everyone can relate to this, is that those people that have been able to work, or business owners, like we've been non-stop. I've been non-stop since January, which is what I recognized where the burnout come in. But it's the self-awareness chip that you've created that you've been able to act on. And when you don't have that self-awareness, people just keep going, right, on that burnout. So the only way to deal with that is drink more, consume more alcohol, consume more food, like be even more lazier. And it's common. Like, you know, I talk to many men, and it's the same thing. But so well done, mate, for recognizing that, and look forward to taking it on, mate.
Nice, thank you.
Thanks for coming on. Right, Andy's raised his hand. Can you just wave, Andy? Because there's like, I've got like so many faces here. Keep waving. There you are. Got you. Okay, if you got you. Can you hear me, mate?
Yes, mate.
How are you?
I'm a techno spaz, so get that in your head before we start, right?
Go for it.
Paint a picture, right? 20 years, this man's Royal Air Force. In my last 2 years, it's shit. I've had enough. I want a challenge. But I'm signed up for the last 30 as one of the finest senior NCOs Her Majesty's Royal Air Force has.
Yeah.
I've then got a Falklands tour for 6 months to look forward to in October. And all this really is getting my head in the right space and giving me a little bit of underpinning knowledge to push on. Because, you know, when you deploy, I did 2 bastions, like, and I smashed the gym there early in the morning, and my lunch was like stuff from the American mess, which was like strawberries and melon and yogurt on top of it. So I wasn't consuming hardly any calories. I was sweating like a pedo in a schoolyard, and yeah, that's wrong. That was not very PC of me. Apologies to all the civvies out there. And yeah, I got cut to fuck. Never been so cut in my life. Same thing I did when I was on Shader, but that was in Cyprus. So that was kind of, yeah, fighting off the weekends as well, because then it's like a big, down the strip on the beer with the boys. But my thing is, I've took a lot from this, but the biggest thing was I was carrying that triangle around with me at first. Do you know what I mean? I was carrying that motherfucker, and work was the big thing, because I was focused on writing people's SJARs, making sure all the miscrit equipment's out the door, and it don't matter, because every single week of my life, month, the trucks roll in the door, the boys fix the trucks, and they roll out the door. And then I'm like presenting all this to management meetings and getting stressed out by doing spreadsheets and that. Did I mention I was a techno spaz? It takes me ages, and if there's a wrong button to press, I'll be pressing it, and then I get stressed out and I feel the pressure, and my pressure is self-inflicted. It's not external pressure. I kind of can deal with that quite well. Or as an Aries male, I put up a big front and everybody thinks I'm dealing with it really well, but inside I'm like, fuck, spinning too many plates, and I don't want anyone to fall off because I take that personally. So yeah, fuck me, I've covered a lot of shit there, haven't I, in a short space of time.
Really good point. That last one, Andy, is a really good point as well, is that you don't want to necessarily let anyone down, is because you feel like, so you know, my biggest issue that I don't think, I still haven't squared it away, is this self-inflicting pressure to make sure you don't let anyone down. So for me, I have this crazy OCD, right, that I have to clear all my notifications, make sure I've got to every comment, make sure that every single person I'm working with, I've touched with. And like sometimes, mate, I will be so consumed and it becomes so intense that I just, this overwhelming, I feel like someone's squeezing my chest with stress and overwhelm. So what you're talking about, as you're talking about, I'm going, fuck, that is just exactly what I'm like in terms. And I think the key is, mate, and this is what I keep saying to myself, is that you can't change the world overnight, but like and we often overestimate what we can achieve in like a year, but underestimate what we can achieve in 5. And even if it's not you're trying to achieve anything, it's like the same principle, is that like little steps each day. So for your job role, you know, I'm really good friends with a lot of like colour sergeants and sergeant majors and air admins through the yin yang. So I know exactly the pressures that like you go through. And like I said to them, you can only do what you can do in the time that you're allocated. And this is the same for everyone. If you go to work and you're a 9 to 5er, you can only do what you can do between 9 and 5. The key is to be able to let go of that work, right? To be able to go, there's the work box, I finished with that, here's the personal box, here's the training box, here's the personal development box. And it's kind of like being able to transition from one to the other. Like the transition routine for me has been the biggest thing, in terms of I have to take myself for a walk, I have to decompress, otherwise I'm just not going to get off my phone, otherwise I'm just not going to stop. If I didn't have these systems in place, I'd be on my phone 24/7, reaching everyone else. You know, I dread to think what I'd be doing if I was single with no kids. Just literally permanently on my phone, getting back to people. But that's where the systems that we've tried to teach with you over those 28 days have come into play, like setting yourself rules, setting yourself guidelines, setting yourself structure, allowing yourself to understand that actually it doesn't matter if you leave at 5, don't feel guilty about leaving at 5 and not doing any work in the evening just because everyone else is, but allowing yourself your personal time. Do you know what I mean? And I think, you know, when you're going to the Falklands?
October.
Yeah.
So that will be when I, where the sergeant said, you've been to Falklands?
No, I haven't, no.
Right. The sergeant's mess accommodation is just up from the gym.
Yeah.
And it's a big corridor, and it's like freezing outside, blowing a gale, and inside you can walk to a gym in your shorts and a hoodie. And there's a swimming pool there. So my intention is to smash the pool, because I used to play football like a dick and my knees are fucked. But I still try my best to do a lot of the stuff that, maybe I should like wind my neck and go, don't do that no more, you dick. Don't do squats.
I think just listen to you. Like the problem is that sometimes we can just, especially in a military environment, it's very like, you know, it's very easy just to get carried away. And it's very hard to say like, I can't do that at the minute, you know, and I see that, like, having been a PTI, you know, a lot of guys, I used to tell stripies, why sergeants, why don't you just do this? It's gonna reduce the pressure on your knees or your shins or your shin splints. And then the next day I see them out doing treat phys, sprinting up a hill, and you're just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? And it's accepting that it's okay that you can't do what you used to do.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But then motivating yourself to do something. I've took that from the course. The 5-day got me on it because I was like proper focused on that.
Yeah.
But the 28-day and the 1% thing has took a bit of pressure off me.
Good.
And I took a lot of pressure off me because of that.
Good.
And then, you know, the relationship side of things I've focused on quite a lot as well.
Good.
I spoke to Gary about it. I lost my mum 2 years ago, June the 15th. And I didn't deal with that very well.
I don't think anyone would, mate.
My partner was there for me, but I kind of pushed her away a little bit.
Yeah.
I never wanted. And then that created other knock-on effects.
Yeah.
And then work's been shit. So by flipping this triangle on its head,
Good.
It's been massive for me.
Good.
Like priority, because work is my last priority now.
Good. Perfect.
I can do work. I can do work stand on my head.
Yeah.
And my health is there, and I've even used the analogy to my guys at work. Some of them have gone wibble my corporals a little bit in there. We had this micromanager chief who was like giving it big licks to everybody, even micromanaging me. Anyway, that's something else. I'll go off on a tangent if I can about that. But I've used the triangle to them, and I've said, look, put your health at the top of it, put your personal development, you know what I mean, and your relationships and work at the bottom, and stop carrying it around. Put yourself at top of it. And the light go, and I can see the light bulb moment. So I'm actually using that analogy with my guys at work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so even by taking that on board, and there's certain things I'm remembering, like, you know what I mean? Put your own oxygen mask on the plane to the Falklands, which is a long fucking trip, by the way. That's me being comedy. But yeah, put your own on, because you're fucked if you put your missus's on and then you can't breathe because you're dead.
Yeah.
And even those little things are coming through. But
so it's the same, Stuart. Your self-awareness is raising again. You're starting to think you're kind of coming off the hamster wheel to look at the bigger picture, and have a little bit more clarity in exactly like how you're going to move forward. So I think the key for you next, Andy, is making sure what the next 90 days is about and where you're going to be. So that this attitude that you have now continues like forever, but the next 90 days is the most important days. The first 90 days after 28 days is the most important, because it embeds everything that you've learned here now, like embeds it. So the key for all of you, and this is everyone, is that you want to make this stuff automated. You don't want to be like this, right now we're still fighting old habits. We're still trying to get into the habits of it. There's different levels. If you like, you're still white belts. Okay. If you want to take a jiu-jitsu analogy, you're all still white belts. But at the end of the 90 days, what you're looking to do is be the blue belt. So that means that all of the basics that I've taught you, it's really about like making sure that you embed it. It's automated. It's natural. It's an automatic response. You don't have to think twice about it. You don't sacrifice anything else when it comes to your planning, when it comes to your focus, when it comes to your morning routine, transition routine, work obligations, raise your self-awareness and all of that. Mate, Andy, thanks for that.
Quick one before I go.
Yeah.
How'd you drown a PTI?
I don't know. How do you drown a PTI?
You put a mirror in the bottom of the pool.
It's quite good. It's quite good. I wasn't one of those PTIs. Hey, and it's good to see the RAF are still following the Marines.
What would it be?
No, me teaching you. Leading
Roger that. You didn't get nowhere with no helicopters though, buddy.
Yeah, we swim. We're amphibious. Cheers, mate. Okay, here we go. David. Can you hear me, Dave?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, definitely. Let me just check this here. 2 secs. Someone's just... Okay. Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah, I just want... Is my connection all right with everyone, guys? Can everyone see me all right? Yeah, great. Okay, go for it. Sorry, David.
Yeah, right. You just mentioned something there about like habits, right? And changing habits.
Yep.
And I was actually, my question that I was thinking about, right? It was something you were talking about on module 9, and it was at the very end of it, and it was the action plan, and part of it was right, your well-being strategies to avoid like comfort eating and drinking, right? I've got those default actions, right? And part of what doing this course was, right, was I was thinking I need to get rid of that, right? That's just I just hit the self-destruct button, and so have you got any tips for that, right? What's an tip? That's what I was thinking about, right, when I did the module. I thought, right, I'll need to sit down and write out what things I could do instead of this like default eating or default drinking.
Okay, so the default drinking and eating, is that caused from just like, is that an automatic response to dealing with stress and frustration and overwhelm?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that I worked well for me, when I first started my very first business in 2013, I was super stressed and frustrated all the time, and I would end up drinking quite heavily. This was during my little like fucking black hole chapter, if you like. And one of the ways that I slowly started to try to get out of this was that any time that I felt that self-pressure and the need, the relationship with alcohol is one where when we drink alcohol, we create this personality where we sort of become fearless, where it kind of eases all types of pain that's going on in our head. And it's a world that allows us to be super optimistic about the future. So like when you feel stressed or things are not going well, or you're struggling where like, I used to think about where's the next mortgage payment coming from and those type of things. When you have that drink, it's like putting virtual reality goggles on and you suddenly go into this world where everything's going to be okay. It kind of comforts you.
Yeah.
So what you end up doing is building this relationship, and same with food, right? So when you eat a large pizza, you're like engulfed in this pizza or a kebab or McDonald's or whatever it would have been. And it helps us to forget. So what the problem is with those coping mechanisms, like with drinking and with eating, it creates a false persona, a false personality, a false alter ego, if you like. And what we have to do is find another way to create that, or another way to process information. And I think there's a couple of things that you could do. One of them I used to do was write a lot. So a lot of the things that I would have going on in my head, or a lot of the emotions that I couldn't make sense of, I would write everything down, lots and lots and lots and lots. And I would just write until I felt like, and I call this brain dumping. So a lot of you would know this is brain dumping. And when I brain dumped, it really helped me make sense of everything that was going on in my life, and why I was stressed, and why I was frustrated, and why I needed to drink. And I used to write down, why do I need to drink? Why do I need that? What's it going to do for me? The other thing is that I used to have what I would call my 5K route. Okay. And this 5K route, I used to call my detox route. Now, whenever I felt the need to have a drink or self-sabotage in any type of way, I would hit that 5K detox route. So I just like stick on some really aggressive music, put my trainers on and just go and come back. And that would be enough to clear my head, or if you like, calm the storm. That was like my initial reaction. You know, when sometimes, sometimes when you're criticized, or sometimes when you're in a heated discussion, or you're in a bar and someone's about to kick off, or someone shouts at you, and your emotional response is to kick off back or shout back, or that initial emotion reaction. The initial emotional reaction usually when you get home is to go and grab a beer and drink and consume alcohol, or go straight to McDonald's, or do something like that. What I felt that I needed was this filler. So this filler between the making a decision and the initial trigger. So instead of reacting really quickly, I needed something that would fill time, that would make me think, do I really need this? I either run, I either writing down. And over time, we talk about habit forming, that becomes second nature to me. So my new coping mechanisms became writing and running, and this detox route. Like sometimes I would do that detox route, I shit you not, 3 times a day.
Right.
I would just do it in the morning to clear the head. I would do it at lunch, and then I would do it at night. But that's when I was in a really bad place. You know, I don't necessarily have to do that now, but it just keeps your head above water. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does actually. It does. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out something, right? And get it, because it's like thinking stops, and it's right, just reach for it.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah.
thinking and so if thinking stops, right? Do you know what I mean? I've just got my first alternative has to be something else. You know, it just has to be.
So David,
But,
making sure that the booze is not in a house is a huge step, because it then stops the process. So if you then suddenly go for the bottle or the drink and it's not in the house, you then have to go to the shop to get it, which gives you some time to then actually think, do I need to get it? It's very easy to consume junk food, alcohol, drugs, whatever it is that people do, if it's in the house. If I only have to go down the stairs, open the cupboard and grab it, it's easily accessible.
yeah.
I then have to go to the shop. It makes things a little bit like, oh my God, I've got to get my trainers on, I've got to get my shorts on, I've got to get changed. Does that make sense?
It surely does. Yeah, don't keep booze in the house.
I think
I'm just trying to write this down actually.
this
Right,
is
I'll say one other thing, right? I actually think they should be teaching this course in school, right? Honest to God, I just think, bloody hell, if I had had this about 25 years ago, do you know what I mean? The whole, just things would be a lot smoother. Do you know what I mean? The whole country could benefit from kind of just having a kind of action plan. Do you know what I mean? It's unbelievable. So do you know what? I'm so glad I found it. You know, I'm chuffed.
there are plans, and this is based off like my own teenage daughter to do something in terms of mental health and mental health awareness, in terms of from teenagers upwards. So one of the problems that I think all of us here watching have, we're all similar ages, is that it's our childhood where we are right now is based on our lack of awareness. Like, I didn't know anything about mental health all the way through my 20s.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about mental health until probably to my early 30s. And like, how naive is that to think, how on earth did I not know about it? You know, and my 15-year-old daughter struggles a little bit with mental health awareness, and I feel quite privileged to be in a position to be able to talk to her about it. And what I went through, I'm quite open with her. But then a lot of her friends are quite the same. And I think if we can just understand a little bit more about what's important in terms of raising self-awareness, in terms of vulnerabilities, in terms of self-confidence, in terms of misdirection and influences from other people, we can then educate ourselves through the teenagers, through the schools, through the secondary schools, through the colleges, through the universities. And people would then enter, when they go into the real world and we're out of a learning organisation, we're then more equipped to deal with what's coming our way. And I think you're absolutely right. This is something I'm going to be really passionate on next year in terms of looking at to create something.
All right. Good luck. Cheers.
Well done. Thanks for coming on.
Ta.
Waves, who wants to come on? Here we are, Dan. I'll get to you all, guys. Don't worry. It's not like we're going anywhere. There's nothing open. Are you unmuted, Dan? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, really good. Thank you.
Good. So one of the things that I've kind of struggled with is planning, and obviously the 10-year plan that I did as per the module, I really struggled with that, and found the 90-day plan a bit easier. Like, practice makes perfect kind of thing. One of the things I'd really like to change is the job that I've been doing for the last 20 years is an all-consuming kind of job. It takes pretty much everything off you. It can be, I work as a freelancer on TV shows, and they can be any part of the country at the drop of a hat kind of thing. So putting structure in your life is quite difficult from that point of view. And then when you're on these jobs, you get a filming schedule which tells you where you need to be, what you need to be doing, how long you're going to be doing it for. It's usually 12 to 14 hours a day kind of thing. So all of that aspect of your life has been taken off you. So with wanting to change that and not do that anymore, because I've got a young family and I want to spend more time with them, the plan that's always been in place for me is all of a sudden gone out the window. So I've been looking at ways to change my career, and one of the things I'd love to do is become a lecturer in on the job that I've been doing for 20 years to free up a bit more time. And I suppose with setting the goals and say 3-month goal, you're almost writing down what kind of person you want to be in those 3 months or a year or 10 years. And I think one of the things I've resonated with you about is being a Royal Marine is a very strong identity. So doing this job for 20 years and being surrounded with the same people, which is essentially being in a circus, which is a strong identity, you're very nomadic, you all kind of travel around together, to being this new person, that kind of identity shift is something I'm just struggling with a bit. The new me, I suppose.
Yeah.
Is.
What do you think the main struggle is?
The main struggle? I don't know. I think maybe it's a comfort thing that I've known that person for 20 years and I don't know the new person who's coming in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, mate, 100%. 100%. I think letting go of the old identity.
It's a struggle, I'll be honest with you. And I became a dad like just over a year ago, and we're expecting again in September, which is one of the reasons I joined your course, because I need to get my shit together to deal with that.
Yeah.
So one of the positives about becoming a dad is that you can wipe the slate clean, and Ben, my son, only knows me for the last 14 months, so I can be whoever I want to be for him, which is the journey that we're on. But that identity shift, I don't know, having been through it yourself, I just wanted to kind of ask you about how you broke that glass ceiling and kind of push through to being someone new, which is a bit of a scary thing when people know you and expect you to behave a certain way. I love going to the pub and getting on the piss with the boys and working in that environment, and you're working away a lot. That's what you do. You get on it kind of thing, and turning into a family guy. And believe me, my North Star is there and strong. I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
for my boy and the next one and my wife. But that kind of identity shift is causing a bit of noise in my head, I suppose. So I just wondered if you could touch on that.
So it's kind of confliction. So the problem that I had, the reason that I fell into the rut that I did was that I left the military on the Friday, and I was teaching like Royal Marine recruits, highly motivated guys. I was in an environment that I loved, being around all the guys. I literally went home for the weekend, and on Monday I started at the college teaching 16 to 19-year-olds. So like when I tell like the guys who really know what I'm talking about, they're like, it's insane. Because when I went in to go and teach at the college, I was still the Sergeant Royal Marine, still Sergeant, like, you know, that like my way of thinking, my way of talking, my way of acting, and was still the same.
I bet that was a bit of a shock for the students, wasn't it?
It was a shock for me. As soon as I told everyone to fuck off on the first day, and I was just like, you can't say that. So it's like, you know, telling them to screw the nut. But like, it was a shock. So let me tell you where it went wrong for me dramatically, which cost me 3 years really of my life, if you like. But if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be where I am now. So the biggest problem was I never let go of that identity. I was so proud of being a sergeant in the Royal Marines. I'd worked my absolute nut off to get to the point where I was in that position. And that was such an identity. I was really proud to wear my beret. I was really proud of my Royal Marine flashes on here. You know, I earned them. I've been to war. I've done stuff. I've had a really great career. And as soon as I came out, no one gave a shit. No one gives like the problem is when you go to your lecturer, no one will give a shit about your 20 years experience or what you've done.
No.
And it's difficult to do that. And until the point came when I started my brand new business and I started creating this business, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just following a couple of people online. I just went into this business. My income when I left the college was like £700 a month. My outgoings were $2,500. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. We had repossession notices coming in. I could only turn the heating on when the kids were here. We were living off like value baked beans, literally living off value baked beans. And I literally I didn't know what we were doing. And then I created this business. And as I grew the business, I grew this brand new identity.
Yeah.
And what I started to do was cling hold to this new identity, but finally let go of this old identity. Like the Royal Marine identity does not work in Civvy Street. I can't be that person in Civvy Street. It took me 3 years to realise that, of being a selfish guy, of being misplaced in my priorities. Now,
this is a very selfish industry that I'm involved in. It just sucks you dry. There's nothing left for anyone else.
100%. And like the sense of purpose and fulfillment over a weekend disappeared. Like, I knew what I wanted. I knew where I was going. I was a 22-year man. I was going to stay to the end of the career, get my pension, go and travel the world. Like, I had everything mapped out. I loved my job. I woke up. I loved training the lads. I loved pushing my recruits. I loved getting the best out of them. And then I come to a college with a staff room of uninspiring, unmotivated teachers who are only looking out for themselves to teach kids between 16 and 19 that didn't even want to be there and were looking for the easiest way out. And just boom, in my head, it just went confliction, drink, alcohol, affairs, like, you know, having sex with fucking all of the other lecturers and teachers, and completely ruined my marriage. Yeah. And 18 months later, I was on the verge of killing myself, like literally in this room right here on this bed, like minutes away from just killing myself because of that confliction.
I mean, having been through the first 3 weeks of the 28 days, it's definitely it's made me, like I said when I spoke to you last time, it's definitely made me think about the future and put a plan in place. And I'm happy with the goals I've set. I've had a side hustle doing property for the past 18 months. So I want to, push that forward. Yeah. So rather than having this one big lump of a job, I'm starting to look at different strains of income to free up some time and some headspace. Yeah. And going through this process, it's pushed me forward to send out CVs, which I've had great responses from. So I've been invited into colleges to talk about professional practices and how to get into the industry, which is a great place to start.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that by following, there'll still be a little shred of it if I'm going to teach something that I've been involved in for such a long time. I figured that was a way of carrying on, because I love my job, don't get me wrong, but it's too much. And
the job doesn't fit the lifestyle anymore.
Well, the goals I set 20 years ago when I left university, having done a design degree for TV, was to do pretty much most of what I've done. And now, as a 43-year-old man with another kid on the way, that does not fit anymore. And I never realised that would be a thing at 43. So definitely hit a crossroads, and it's time to change. But that identity thing that you talk about it's kind of trying to. I think on one of your podcasts you talked about a fisherman fishing for crabs in a harbour.
Yes.
You know, that crab in the bucket trying to get out. That's just, I feel like I'm just being pulled back into.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And it's good because you just evolved as a man. You've just evolved as a man. And like at this chapter of your life, you're about to start a new chapter. You know, like there's different responsibilities, there's different goals, there's different settings.
I love being a dad. It's great, and being in lockdown's given me 3 months with my boy, which you know, I'm sure you've figured out. I was leaving the house at 5 a.m. and coming home at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, 100%.
I never saw him. Weekend dad, not for me. So those conflictions are what's just letting the bad habits creep back in. So like refocusing, and I've joined the mastermind because I know I need to just. I know what I want to do. It just needs hammering home, kind of thing. So
that's what we'll do, and definitely even next week. And it's going to be a real growth thing for a lot of you as well, you know. And I think like with the thing with the mastermind is that, you know, it's the challenge to continue the process, it's to embed the process, right? Yeah. Like so that it is second nature. But then we start pushing the boundaries about like what you're capable of, and it's like.
Yeah, setting those kind of targets has been quite a difficult thing for me. I either think they're massive and unachievable or too low. It's just really finding that kind of that level. So that's something I'm looking for.
Think about when you first learned to ride a bike though, Dan. Like, you know, how many times did you fall off that bike before you actually got on it? And like, this is what I say to a lot of people. It's the same with driving. It's the same with riding a bike. It's the same with swimming. It's the same with anything. We all start off and fall off, but get back on until we become proficient. And like, by the end of the year, you'll be like, you'll know exactly where you want to be by the end of 2021, where you want to be, where you're going.
I think just touching on what the guy was talking about before as well, that 1% just kind of takes the pressure off you to not have to do it all in one go. And that is the one thing that's helped me stop beating myself up about stuff, is just a gradual growth is a good growth rather than trying to go straight up. So yeah, those are the kind of struggles I'm facing, and it's good to know there's support to help kind of iron it out. And it's good to hear other guys talking about similar things, and it's not just you kind of thing on your own.
It's even me, mate. Like this is why.
It's great.
Like, saying to guys like, you know, I don't have my shit figured out. Yesterday was fucking a horrendous day. Like, you know, my little one drove me around the bend, and I just literally got nothing done. It's just, it is what it is. It's real life, but it's a case of bouncing back today and going again, right?
Well, do you know, like 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, a day like that would have just knocked me completely, like having my boy. But with what we've been going through the last week, my morning routine goes to shit. Then, you know, so what? I'll get what I can done, and we start again tomorrow. That's the main thing I've learned, is just reset, re-go kind of thing. So
perfect. That's exactly the right attitude to go, and that's how we live our life. We don't live in a perfect life. We live in a real life, but how you condition. Remember what I talk about, the gradings. You know, you're like a white belt with 2 stripes. Another 2 stripes. You know, you're going to be on that blue belt, and then you'll be like your ambassadors. All of your ambassadors have all gone through what you've gone through. Now you look at those guys, and you're like, those guys are great.
Yeah. Like, I mean, go back to the lecturing thing. When I sat in my design degree 25 years ago, the people that came and taught us were the people that have been on your journey, and you listen to them. Yeah. So now that's one of the reasons I want to go back and be that guy stood in the classroom saying, look, I know what it needs. Yeah. You need to do this. And it's, you know, I'm sat in that classroom again with you kind of thing. So, you know, it's almost.
Like Maverick from Top Gun, going back to Top Gun to teach, right? Dan, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I'm going to see you next week for the workshop.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks very much.
Details will be later. Details in a week. Okay, let's go. Peter, don't worry. Just before I go to Peter, is there anyone that wants to come on that has to go? Just comment. in the box. If someone wants to come on and is having shoot, I can see guys going. I know I said it would only be an hour. I'm more like Goose. Okay, cool. All right, that's fine. As long as we haven't got anyone that's got to shoot off and wants to jump in. Oh, yes, please. Simon, right. Peter, I'm going to come to you. I'm just going to go Simon because he's got to go. Is that all right? You all right with that?
Yeah, fine.
Peter Webb, is that all right? Simon Rice. Keep waving, Simon. There he is. Okay. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good, you?
Been better actually. Got I sort of had a bit of a problem yesterday where I ended up in A&E and had 3 ECGs and various things. So I had very bad chest pains. But it was just a call out really to sort of thank your guys, Gary Elston and also Lou, were so supportive because I did wake up. I was like, shit, I've got to do my morning routine. I've got these chest pains, but I've got to go. And they just kept sending messages of support and everything like that, and just saw me through that, really telling me not to worry because I had modules to catch up with as well. So I'll be on the naughty list, not a problem. But I just really wanted to show you some gratitude because you guys were absolutely fantastic.
Brilliant.
So
thanks, mate. Yeah,
yeah,
they're really good. We've got a really good team. The guys are
absolutely fantastic, which is good. And I wanted to make the effort to get in and just make this call. And it's great to hear some of the guys and what they're saying because I really sort of mirror what they're saying about, those same old jobs you're doing and stuff like that and routines and things. But it's been a good couple of weeks, been a tough, but everything's good. Health wise, I'm fine. But yeah, just really thank you for you guys.
Right. Was everything all right?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, they're just got a dicky art. So, but no, it's all right, mate. It's not a problem. Good, so, and I'll get back.
I'll pass that on.
Yeah, I'll get back on track next week. So, which is all good. All right.
Yes. Remember, just catch it up. It's like this is what I always say to the guys: it's not the end of the world if you're not up. If you're not up to date, do make the effort to get back up. That's immense. So
yeah, that's it. But no, thanks to you and your team, mate. I think it's great. I mirror what the last guy said. I think it's a cracking course. Get it in schools. I think it'll be brilliant. So, and it's great to see so many happy faces as well on it. So, which is good.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
All right, take it easy. Cheers.
See you, Peter. Can you hear me, mate?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, good, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. It's probably a good one to follow on from Dan, actually. If I give you a bit of my backstory, I was in a very successful career, working all hours God sent. I was in and out of the country all the time, so I was never in the same country with my role. And I was doing that and realizing that I was supporting my wife so she could set up her own business, and I was flogging myself to death to make sure that she was okay. She was coming back from having the kids. She wanted a career. So I was seeing her develop, and I was just literally going downhill as a result of that. So to cut a long story short, at the end of last year, I hit the bottom, couldn't get out of bed, had to go onto meds, was a bit of a mess. And I made a decision just to say, okay, the career's got to go. I've been 16 years earning really good salaries, but my health's more important. I went on sick for 2 months and then just decided that's it. I'm going to take some time out. And I'm in such a better place now for doing that. I've always had the mentality that something will always come up. Destiny will find its way.
Yeah.
The first 2 months was really just picking myself up and getting back to living. And then the last 3 months have just been flying. And I think from Dan's side, just have the confidence that you have the ability and the experience to do what you want to do. You just haven't had that chance to know and have self-belief in yourself to do it. I'm finding the morning routines easy. What's ironic is that I used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do 2 hours of work before the kids woke up.
Wow.
And that was my morning routine. It wasn't focusing on myself. It was, if I get up another 2 hours earlier, I can do even more work.
Yeah.
And so that 5 till 7 is an easier thing for me. I'm struggling a little bit during the daytime because obviously I've gone from 100 miles an hour for 16 years to 5 months of doing nothing but garden leave and looking after my kids. And I'm starting up a whole new business. So, and with lockdown, starting up a business has been a little bit slower than I would have expected it to be. Yeah. So I'm definitely in for the mastermind, because the routine is key for me to get back on track. But yeah, I think the course has been great. I was one of these Facebook, oh my God, this James Boardman's a scammer. Took a while for me to take that leap of faith and do the 5 days. Did the 5 days, and I'm in sales and everything else, so I'm always thinking, okay, there's a hidden agenda around here somewhere. But absolutely been great. Give me what I needed, and the routine and the scheduling is really good now. So good. In a good place. I've got a couple of questions, if that's all right.
Yeah, please do.
The first one is I struggle with protein intake, because I run a lot, so I'm used to taking on a lot of carbs, and I've always been against taking protein shakes because I don't want to get in the habit of being reliant on supplements. Okay. But I'm struggling with getting my protein up while I'm still running long distances. Okay. What's your
whilst running, or in a post and pre-running?
Post.
Okay. So do you mean in general for the protein for the week overall, or are we just talking about while you're running you want to?
No. In terms of my targets overall, I've got like a 120 gram target, and I'm struggling to get to 80, 90, because I'm so used to eating carbs and doing long distance running. Yeah. I'm struggling. So, but I don't want to get to a point where I feel like I'm reliant on supplements.
Yeah, no, I get it. For me, protein is just like filtered milk. And to be honest with you, many men around our age end up struggling with IBS from it. I don't know if that's something that you've come across, but many guys that I talk to that drink it really upsets the gut as well after a time. And plus, you're absolutely right. How sustainable is drinking protein shakes for the rest of your life? Now, in terms of I buy in pre-made meals for my lunch. Now, one of the biggest problem areas that I often had when I'm in the office is that I would just go down to the bakery and ask them to make me a sandwich, or or whatever it would be. But these pre-made meals come in, and it's pretty good because they come in to about 40 to 50 grams worth of protein in terms of just that one meal. And they also have protein bars, which have almost 20, some have 25 grams worth of protein in as well. Yeah. So they're kind of like healthy snack bars. So usually at lunch, I can get in nearly 60 grams worth of protein. Now, if you look at across your diet, are you tracking on MyFitnessPal?
Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing as well is to kind of start looking at what you're eating and start seeing what has low protein levels and what has high protein levels. So for breakfast, a couple of eggs in the morning is kind of high protein, right? For dinners, having salmons and chickens, and also pulses as well. And it's about testing. Do you have a lot of that type of stuff for dinner?
Oh, we do, but I think I've been guilty of. We cook for the kids, and the kids are heavily loaded with pasta and that type of stuff, and it's. I think I'm probably guilty of thinking more about what the kids are going to eat rather than what I need to eat.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that happens a lot in families. One of the things that I would probably recommend is that feed the kids what you eat. I don't know if they're at an age where they can do that yet, but one of the mistakes I made with my first two kids was we did exactly the same as you. Okay, we would what do the kids like to eat? We'll have what the kids have. Whereas what we've done with Albert now is that she'll eat whatever we eat. So that usually is quite high in protein. And that really helps. We have a source of protein pretty much at breakfast, lunch and dinner. And if you try and aim to find a source of protein that works at breakfast, lunch and dinner, you'll start to see that number start creeping up a little bit more. It is a case of testing and adjusting. The name of the Muscle Food, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Yeah. They do some good pre-made meals that are usually high in protein, or they do protein snacks that give you that, which are more foodie protein supplements than milkshakes. I would personally never recommend taking protein shakes. I just don't think they're great for you. But that's just my personal opinion based on my own experiences and other people. You can supplement as well with like, I think one of the guys just put up there as well, like little snacks. If you keep a little bag of nuts with you, like 80 grams of nuts in like a little container, just carry that around with you. That then increases your protein intake throughout the day as well. But what I'll do is where can I best do this? When I put this recording up in the group, if you tag me in the comments below, I'll send you the website for 2 companies that do pre-made meals and protein snacks. That's pretty good. And you can have a look at those things. And that one might give you some help in terms of raising that up.
Yeah, just one other point as well. If anyone's looking for a bit of a kick and a good, I used to do a lot of OCR racing, but damaged my shoulder and stuff. Spartan are doing virtual races at the minute. So I'm doing a Spartan virtual tomorrow. And obviously normally for Spartan racing, you're spending 60, 80 quid or whatever it is on entrance fees. But if anyone wants to do, I think it's quite good. The Spartan community is quite a good thing as well. So if people want to go for July, there's these virtual Spartan races which are going on, which are free to enter. And I'm just using it as a bit of a fitness marker and a goal to take me through before the season properly starts. Nice. Yeah, I used to do loads of OCR races. I used to be do you know Richard Pringle? He used to be so I used to be so I wasn't the race director, I was the race course manager for Spartan in 2015. Right. Richard Pringle was the race director at the time for Spartan, and we set up all the races that year. And Spartan is just really good. We did the stadium one last year, the rugby stadium, Twickenham. Oh yeah, my company sponsored that last year. Oh, did they? Yeah. Yeah, man, it was really good. So I think we're doing that again we're doing a mastermind team for December, the December one in Twickenham as well. So we have to get in that, and you obviously are part of it now. So you have to do the half marathon on the 4th of July. Yeah, well, I'm doing the half marathon tomorrow. Half marathon trail. Good. Starting tomorrow. Nice. Did you have another question? No, I think that was it. Okay. Make sense? Yeah, all good, thanks. Right, okay, brilliant. We'll be in touch this week regards the workshop and mastermind stuff for you. Okay. Brilliant. Thanks, Pete. Okay, thanks very much. Okay, anyone else? Anyone want to come in? Yep, I got you. Late. Boom. Can you hear me, mate? I think you just got to press unmute your side, Lee. Try it again. I know you've muted yourself. We can't hear you, mate, because you're muted. Oh, say something.
Hello, can you hear me now, James?
Yeah, got you, mate. I got you.
All right, perfect, mate. I'm not too good on these things.
Don't worry, mate. Don't worry.
Okay. First of all, James, just like to thank you and your team. You've been great and taking me into the mastermind. I know I really need this.
Good man.
Can you hear me, James? Yeah.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
Yeah. No problem, mate. Yeah. So my main thing I want to talk to you about is my 30-day plan is my running. I want to do the equivalent of a half marathon.
In one go?
And no, I want to build up to a half marathon. So I was hoping to get a training plan or some advice on that. Hello?
I can hear you, mate.
Okay, yeah, I'm not very good. But what would be the best?
Okay, what are you doing now in terms of running? What's your, so in the last 2 months, have you done any running?
No, not really at all. I've been doing your HIIT workouts and a bit of boxing training and stuff like that, but I've not run properly for years. I think the last time I ran was, properly would have been a 5K about 10 years ago sort of thing. So okay. I've made my goal. I think that's a realistic goal for me, really, isn't it? So
yeah,
100%. 3 months to do 13.1 miles.
Yeah, definitely 100%. So so we've got a plan in the mastermind. Did you say you've just joined the mastermind?
I have, yes, yeah. I joined up last week, so I've been
Brilliant.
accepted to that, and so that's what I mean. Thanks,
Are
guys.
you in the app?
I am, yes, I am.
If you drop me a message, and what I'll do is I'll send you through a training plan to follow.
Perfect. And also, I've got a bit of accountability for that too, because there's a charity near me. It's called the Wave Project, which is helps out the disabled kids and kids with problems and mental health problems, gets them into surfing and water sports and stuff like that.
Right.
And they're doing a thing in July. It's run 1,000 miles. So they get a lot of sponsors.
So you all, so everybody has miles.
50 miles in the month I need to do, something like that. And
that sounds good.
So it's for a good cause, and it gives me a bit of accountability. So I've joined up for that yesterday.
Right.
So I need to really start training and get my shit together, right? So.
Okay, do that. So mate, send me a message today in the app.
I will do.
Where you gone? And I'll send you through the training plan to get you going. One of the keys with running, mate, if you haven't run for a while, is definitely making sure that you have a really, really good warm up. And because what will end up happening is that obviously naturally you're going to get sore from running early doors, but it's the pre and post warm up cool down is like so important, dude, in terms of building up a really good running rhythm, if you like, or getting momentum with your running. Because when people tend to start and haven't run for a while, that's when the niggles come in. That's where like the slight injuries, and that can really set you back and really frustrate you. So on the app, on the training app, there is a warm up. Okay, there's a really good warm up. Do that exact warm up for that and the cool down, and try to make sure that at least 3-4 times a day that you're doing mobility. I'm sorry, 3-4 times a week that you're doing mobility.
Yeah, I'm doing that now because I'm following your HIIT workouts and stuff like that, and doing mobility of my morning routine. So I'm feeling the healthiest I've felt for years, James. So it's definitely working, and so.
Right, and we have a yoga course going on in the mastermind.
I've joined up for that too, yeah.
Brilliant. So it's every 2 weeks. It might go up to every once a week, but certainly at the minute we're in the beta testing. So Marianne is brilliant with that, and that will really help in terms of posture with running. And a big part of running for me is being able to be as flexible as possible.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so if you message me that, I will get that to you at. If you get it to me today before 12, I'd send it to you today. If not, I'll send it through on Monday.
Perfect, James. I was planning to start the training on Monday, for that. So
that's fine. Yeah, definitely. So,
start my 90 day.
Do a 5K on Monday.
5K on Monday, yeah.
Yeah, and so if you haven't got the plan by then, a 5K is a great place to start with and see how you're doing.
No, I'll get that. Yeah, I'll send that through today. But and that's great. And say the rest of the plan, I'm just trying to keep it realistic, because I just end up, as you said, the busy fool. Because as I said, the last time I talked to you, I was on about trying to balance work, and my son has been a single father and self-employed. So
yes,
I've cut that right back to a couple of days a week until the schools were back in August, and just have to
go with that.
Also looking to take on help as well.
Good.
I'm interviewing a guy on Monday, a young boy. Young joiner, to maybe help me out, because I've got a lot of work coming in still, so I don't want to let it go. So that's one of my 30-day plan too, is to take someone on and build a little workshop in my garden so I can work from home, sort of thing.
If I can give you some advice on taking someone on,
sure.
Make sure, in terms of make sure that you are super clear on what his roles and responsibilities are in that job role. So that in terms of you managing the quality and control of your work, remember your name is the brand, so everything that happens with him is your responsibility.
That's exactly what's put me off in the last, because I've been doing this I've been self-employed for a few years, but I've just started. I eventually want to get off the tools. So I'm 53 now, so I don't want to be on the tools for that's my 5-year plan, is to be off the tools, sort of thing.
100%, and that's a good vision. So we've just introduced in the mastermind, we're going to start, because one of my side projects or my side hustles now is working with business owners and making them more efficient. So we're going to be doing some workshops and stuff in there as well. So one of the things that I would say to you is have a deadline or a clear vision about what the exit strategy is from the tools to become,
Definitely.
if you like, the director or the managing director, to then almost have 3 or 4 guys working for you over
Sure,
that.
that's my goal. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Perfect.
it won't matter if anything, like touch wood, it won't, but if anything did happen again, you can then focus on bringing up your boy and then managing the business at the side with a team.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly, yeah. So, no, it's just, so when I joined the 5-day course, I'll take what I can from the 5 days and I'll be fine. And when I got to the 4th day, like, I need to do this 28 days. And last week it was like, I need to do this mastermind day. So it's just, it's addictive, James. It's addictive. I love it.
It's just continuation of training.
Yeah, because I know for a fact that, as you say, in 2 weeks' time I'd be back to normal if I didn't join the mastermind day. It's just too much going on, and I need the accountability and the structure.
Yeah, that's fine. That's no worries. Where are you living? Where do you live?
I'm in Scotland, Dunbar, just outside of Edinburgh.
Because you go in from a Scottish accent to an Aussie accent.
Yeah, I spent 25 years in Australia. I grew up in Australia. I grew up in Sydney.
Yeah, okay, I thought so.
Yeah, so I'm a Scozzy. I was born here, lived in Australia, and I'm back here again.
I love that. Mate, it's a pleasure to have you on board. Looking forward to do some stuff.
Perfect, then we'll stay in touch, James. Yep. Thanks, guys.
Message me now on the
I will do. I'll message you as soon as we finish this meeting, James.
Brilliant.
And thanks again.
Well
Cheers.
done.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got down there, Nikki, 2 seconds. If you just unmute Nick.
Can you hear me, James?
Oh yeah, I got you, buddy. How you doing?
Sorry, apologies for the accent. First, I'll try and talk slowly.
Don't worry, you're right.
Okay, it's actually, this is my wife's iPad. So I'm actually Dawn. I'm actually Dawn Duffy. You've probably seen my post.
Yeah. I'm just going to call you Nicky.
Yeah, no, so it's the missus' iPad. First of all, thanks very much. Really enjoyed the 5 days, and I'm enjoying the 28 days one. I'm actually struggling at the minute, so I have to be honest.
Okay, what with?
Pardon?
What with?
Do you know what it is? You touched on earlier on, James. I'm reading off my notes here. You touched upon the optimism and the adrenaline, then the overload and like the burning the microchip. So I'm sort of like peaks and troughs. So I'm flying for like 4 days. I'm feeling really good, like a internal buzz, almost like caffeine as such.
Yep.
I've come off coffee and stuff. It's not good for me. But pretty much what's happened then, like I'm really good, focused for like 4 or 5 days. I'm showing up every morning, but then it's almost then like I had a trough where I fell behind this week now. I'm usually on top of my modules, but I haven't got module 7, 8, 9 done this week. We work too. I'm off a lot, but I'm training a lot, and I'm out on the bikes with the wife, and I'm like the other day I was out for like 6 hours outdoors. So that's maybe an excuse. I should have been focusing on module 8 and 9, but I sort of feel like I'm up and down a bit, if that makes sense.
It does, and that is perfectly normal, mate. To have. Remember, and this is for everyone, you're only like 3 weeks into like working on yourself. Like, you know, the course has only been going 3 weeks. So this is where, like, realistically, whenever I've fallen off a program that I've done, it's because I haven't prioritized it enough. Or I felt that I probably didn't need it at the time. And I'm not saying that you don't need it, but just at the time, the priorities going on swirling around in your head are probably somewhere else other than working on module 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
And I did a little, I was out yesterday with doing the daddy daycare thing, and I did the 12:30 live, and I was just talking about, it's around this time where many guys suddenly dip. So like the progression comes here and then we dip, and it's suddenly where we lose a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's suddenly where everybody starts disappearing. Like next week, I reckon out of all the people that signed up, we would have lost nearly 40% of them. And it doesn't matter what me, the ambassadors, or Lou do, they've just lost, they've disconnected from the mission. Okay. Yeah. And you'll hear me talking about a mission a lot. So I'm on a mission, you're on a mission, we're all on that mission. Okay. And it's always remembering what the mission is. And every now and then, because it's still early days, you're still the white belt, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still new to you. You're still learning. You're still evolving. So that perfect picture or that life that you're aiming for sometimes will slip your mind, and the old life and the old mindset and the old way of doing things will just creep back in.
Yeah.
And number one, don't beat yourself up. It's like it literally isn't the end of the world. You could literally catch up over the weekend and be back on top of things by Monday.
That's again, James. I've set aside time today and tomorrow because I've trained a lot this week and I've met my mate at the gym and stuff. So I've done all that this week.
Right.
So I'm going to focus on catching up on the modules this weekend and get back on track.
Yeah, perfect. And just don't beat yourself up about it. But when you beat yourself up about it, you tend to go into this emotional state, and then people go, oh, "Fuck it, there's no point."
That's exactly. Yeah.
I'm too far behind. Like, and you're never too far behind. Like, you know, and it's never ending. Do you know what I mean? Go on.
So my question was going to be like, the way I'm sort of, because honestly, like, see when I'm on it, and like, especially when I'm at work, when the routine's there, I feel I'm really on it and I'm buzzing. Like, it's really good. I'm buzzing at work. I'm enjoying being work, and I'm enjoying being around the people at work, and I'm feeling grateful for work and the people, you know, mixing the colleagues and stuff.
Yeah.
But and see when I had a adapt then maybe after 3 or 4 days, it's like, am I ready for the mastermind? Am I ready for this? Should I give myself another couple of 5 days and maybe do a couple of more 28 days, or can I do the mastermind now? Because see, last week I was like, I need to get signed up for this mastermind. I was panicking in case I wasn't going to get a spot. And this week I'm like, am I ready for it? I'm doubting myself.
The mastermind. So
sorry, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be honest.
Oh no, mate, honestly. So the thing with the mastermind is that I don't like to push the mastermind. Like, people even know when they're ready or they're not. And I always, one of my favorite sayings is always, what's the alternative? Okay, so let's say you didn't do the mastermind.
Yeah.
Okay, after 28 days, let's fast forward 2 weeks after the 28 days.
Yeah.
Where do you think you're going to be?
I think I'll get consumed in all this like self-doubting again, and thinking like, oh, I'm the one that this isn't going to work for. I'm an anomaly. Okay. And think everybody else is flying, and then get consumed in all that. Oh, this isn't for me. I can't break this cycle. You know.
Yep.
So I'm sort of hoping that I get back on track this weekend, and I'm thinking I'm sort of.
No one. So I give you a clue. No one is ever ready to join the mastermind.
That's what I want to hear. I wanted to hear that, actually.
Yeah. No one is ever. There is no set standard to join the mastermind. Like, there's no the only thing, and the reason that the number one thing that I won't take anyone on is somebody that is not prepared to work hard, and it's somebody that's not prepared to show up. Like, the mastermind, for me, if you don't show up and you get 3 strikes and you're out, you're gone. Like, so you have to show up to stay up in there. You have to put some skin in the game. And if you didn't do that, you wouldn't show up anyway. When I very first started this 4 years ago, I used to do what's called, the mastermind used to be called What's the Academy, and it used to be free. And I used to do what I'm doing now for free. And no one showed up. No one, when they come to this end of this 28 days, has a real concept of where they're going right now. You've done 3 weeks. When you come into the mastermind, you've done 4 weeks. So you will go into the mastermind and you'll meet guys that have done 4 weeks into the mastermind. You'll meet guys that have done 4 months. You'll meet guys that have been working with me for the last year and a half. You will have guys that have been working with me from the very start 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And what you'll end up having is, it's like going into a jiu-jitsu club and you've got white belts, blue belts, purple belts, black belts. Okay.
Yeah.
What you end up getting is you'll be in a situation, and then a black belt or a purple belt, or someone's that's been training with me for a year or so, who is starting to nail this, will turn around and go, why don't you try this? Why don't you try this? And it's this timeline of events. So the idea of the mastermind is then to go, right, my man, we're going to do our 90 days next week. Everything that you do is predicated, or your morning routines, your evening routines, your weekly plans, is all predicated on you achieving that 90-day goal. When we meet in September, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can meet in September for our quarterly meet. We're going to do paintballing, we're going to do lunch, and then we're going to have a seminar. And that way you get to reconfirm what you're about, and you grow. So suddenly you go from here to here to here to here. You might come back down here, but you're then more conditioned to go back up here.
Yeah.
My man, there are people that have been with me for 4-6 months who still have bad weeks and days. It's never ending. It's a conditioning process. And it's not conditioning as in terms I'm trying to give you a six-pack and a check. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm conditioning this, the emotions, the action taking, the bigger picture, the perspective, and that's how you grow.
Yeah. James, thanks very much. I appreciate that, buddy. Cheers.
Anytime. You're welcome. Anyone else? Yep. Oh, here he is, my favourite guy. What's going on?
Hey guys, how are you?
How's it been since the last 2 weeks when you come on?
To be honest, yeah, I first wanted to say thank you to yourself and everyone else. It's like you were saying throughout this call. It's not perfect, I know this, but it's made a change, man, and I'm feeling positive.
You're calm.
Yeah, a lot calmer today.
Wow,
I think.
you are calm.
Journaling and brain dumping has been a godsend.
Great.
You know, and I think it's started working literally from that day one.
Yeah.
You know, and it was, for me, it was so shocking that it's actually working. Because before, like, people would say, journal, do this, write down and stuff. Sorry, and you know, but I didn't understand. Like, I thought, why would it writing down on a paper help? And I still can't explain it, but it works. So as long as it works, I don't care. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for that.
Well done.
Also, I've found that I start slipping midweek, Monday, Sunday, even through the weekend. Like, because obviously I'm not married with kids. I am actually a lot luckier than a lot of people here. I've been trying to maintain the routine thing through the weekend because obviously I don't have to, and I'm on furlough. So I've just tried. That's the good thing I've tried doing. I've taken advantage of everything. I haven't followed a trend, as to say.
Good.
You know, but I found that it does take me a couple of days to get out of that little rut, you know, and it's always the depression thing, like, oh no, it's not going to work, or I start panicking. I can't, like, I could picture myself achieving what I want in 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, I can picture myself chilling in the house or whatever, you know, but it's sort of like gets pushed away again, like, and it's like, forget it, it's not going to work, or whatever. But I'm slowly starting to come out of that. That's another good thing. Most happiest thing I think I'm about is I've put on weight, which is good. I'm actually 10 stone now. I know it's not much, but it's better than.
What do you want to be?
I think I'd love to be about 12 stone.
Okay.
So I'm 5'11" in height, and I don't like being too heavy.
Okay.
You know, when I was in school, I played as a winger in school.
Yep.
I loved my faster paced sports. You know, I hate football, but I don't mind five-a-side because it moves quicker, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I don't want to be too big or too heavy. I want to maintain a bit of, I don't know what they used to call it, the twinkle toe effect, I think, wasn't it? Just a bit faster feet, you know? But I think overall, I'm feeling amazing. Thank you. I just wanted to
it's a completely different persona to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the last time we spoke, I was panicking a lot more. It's like I wanted to get my stuff out, and I wanted advice. Like,
you wanted it now. You were like, I want success now. I want achievement now. And I think you've, like, hopefully embraced the concept of the 1% of the future vision, and the self-doubts that you have about your 10-year plan are perfectly natural. But the more you think about it, the more you connect yourself with your present day to that future you, the more you can believe in yourself, and the better you get conditioned. Remember, I've talked about the whole way through here, being the white belt, blue belt, purple belt, and you becoming more and more and more affirmed with that connection that you have to your 10-year plan. Okay. And your 10-year plan will change. Like, it will change along the way, and that's fine. And some things we won't necessarily achieve, but we might get very close to it, and that might still put us in a really good place. Okay.
Yeah.
And an analogy or a story that was always rung true to a guy that I used to follow. He goes, everybody always wants to be number one, like, you know, number one in everything, but yet actually being number 5 or number 7 or number 10 out of thousands and hundreds of thousands is still right up there. And it's not always trying to be the number one or trying to reach. It's the process that you can get in there that teaches you to be this individual that you're being. You've had 2 weeks worth of process since we last spoke, and look at the progression already.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If I spoke to you in 2 months and you carried on this process, you'd be more affirmed to what you're trying to achieve, and that connection will be there, and you will be calmer, and you'll be even in a better place. So don't forget that when you're creating that 90-day plan, you remember progression, stages, conditioning of this and this.
Yeah, I think because what happened was I'm actually up to date with all the modules, right up to module 9.
Yeah.
With modules 8 and 9, with 8 I didn't put a message on straight away because I felt like I needed to do a bit more digging and a bit more like a bit more organized, or maybe even put one into play, start building on it, and then adjust it. Whereas before, I was always looking for this perfect plan, you know, and then if I thought, oh, I can't fit this in, or I don't know how to do this, I wouldn't even finish the plan, let alone try it out, you know. So like, thanks to this course and everything, now I'm starting to understand that it's not about achieving that first moment, it's about actually sitting down and doing it. Like that's what I've done. And also I think with the 90-day goals, I need to, and I noticed it was the first thing you touched on straight away when the call started, was to truly believe in this. Like, I have to have that link between my goals, and that at the moment is just for me to just be able to do something, achieve something, you know. But I'm trying to link them more to what I want. So get rid of the anxiety for my health, trying to focus on that. And then again, I think there's a big theme here. Everyone wants to run a marathon, you know, and I thought, forget it, I might as well try it, because it just makes me think if everyone else is doing it, it might be a bit easier, you know. I don't know if I'm running away from something or not, but
it's what you want to do, though. It's whatever connects you to what you want to do. Don't just think, oh, I'm going to do that because everyone else, you are your own man. I don't try to create everybody here to be JBs. I want everyone to be them. I'm just sharing my model, my experience, what's worked for lots of different guys. And you take that and you interpret it into your world and your life and how that works for you. So always be your, like, I was asked what it was like to be a man in a modern day. And I always said, number one thing is just be your own man. Like, be an individual, do what you want to do. So if you don't want to run a marathon, don't do it, because if you set your target to run a marathon, you don't want to do it, you're not going to want to get up and train. You'll miss that passion and connectivity to it. You're just like, everyone else is doing it. Well, fuck it, I'll do it. So you miss the whole point of what you want to do. Do you know what I mean? Okay.
I need to rethink that one then.
Just think about it. Just like, it's for you.
Yeah.
It's for you, ultimately. Happy?
Yeah, no, perfect. Because what it was, that was only one example for the health part or the health pillar.
Yeah.
Because I just thought to myself that, okay, trying to pick up meditation and doing my journaling and maybe working a bit more towards like anxiety side of things wasn't enough. Like I thought health is physical and I needed to do something there, like, you know.
Okay.
So I'll definitely think about it, see how I feel. I don't know, I enjoy riding a bike. I might even just double the mileage on a bike and
do London to Brighton.
That's a bit much, I think. I don't know. I live in Cardiff, so I have to get to London first. So,
do Cardiff to London to Brighton.
Yeah, that may be one. That'll be awesome.
Do something. Yeah, do something that that you enjoy. All right.
Right.
Good to see you in a good place.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone else as well. And,
good man.
I haven't applied for the mastermind yet, but 100% I'm going to. There's no denying I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
So I'm going to get my because I wanted to make sure I can answer the questions properly and everything. You know.
I want to know if the mastermind's ready for you.
Yeah, that's the ultimate one, isn't
and
it?
that energy you're bringing. I want that energy.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jay.
Well done, mate. Right, I've got Brett. Can you hear me, Brett? Brett looks frozen. Okay, I'll come back to you, Brett. I think your camera's frozen. Somebody else put their hand up? Yeah, Tom. How you doing?
Hi, James, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. How are you?
Good. Yeah, good. In the garden, so it's all nice.
Lovely.
Not chucking it down for a change. Yeah, no, I just wanted to. I've been, watching the whole time, and I thought I really got to say something, but it's kind of having a bit of the balls to stick my hand up and get it out there. Really, just wanted to, I think I've followed you, James, for probably 3 years or so. Probably right from the beginning when you started this. I remember you walking around on holiday in Spain or somewhere. You broadcasting your show from Spain or somewhere, and I remember following you, and I you know, your free content is fantastic because, you know, people need it. They might not comment, they might sit there in the background, and you might not ever hear from them, but you reach a hell of a lot of people, and so that's one thing to kind of thank you for that, because you won't have known, but you've had an influence on me going back a long time. I've really enjoyed this process. I started with the 5-day, and then jumped onto the 28-day, and I've really committed to it. I've, you know, although when I say I followed you before, obviously we've been kind of, I joined you about probably 18 months ago or something, and I wasn't probably in the right space back then. But I've really committed to it. It couldn't have come at a better time, because my wife's a nurse. I'm a bank manager for businesses. So, you know, this COVID crisis has been complete chaos at our place, because I've been there working all hours trying to get these government-backed loans off my desk. My wife's been out doing at work nursing, and we've had, and our 3 girls have been running riot around the house. So it's all been a bit mad. And earlier in the year, January, I've done my job for 10 years. I've been a real top performer at it, and I probably should have moved on from it about 3 years ago to next thing. And I got into a little bit of a rut, because I feel like it's a computer game which you've completed, and then you kind of run out of the motivation to be at the top of your game, which you need to be delivering and to stay there. But of all the times now, you know, when, you know, people don't really normally like the bank manager very much, but now they like them a lot. You know, suddenly we're really needed, and we're actually having a real bringing a lot of value to our customers and really helping them. But the challenge I had at the beginning was I was really trying to be proactive. I sent out loads of emails and calls to everyone and said, these are the things we can do for you. This is what we can do. And then I sent out 56 or something kind of loan applications for this new process that came out. And then I was ill. And in 2 weeks I was laid up in bed, and I think it was a pretty light version of COVID, but I was in a bad way. But thankfully I got better after 10 days, and 2 weeks I was back at work. But in that time I got, you know, about 30 applications through for loans, and the last 2 months has been completely mental, trying to get through that work while juggling the kids, the wife and her shifts, you know, which change all the time, night shifts, earlys, late, and so this planning and this constant focus is just couldn't have come at a better time for me, because I've committed. This is the first week after the 3-4 weeks of trying to follow the process. Now this is the first week I've hit the early mornings. So I started out at kind of 7, half 6, 7 o'clock, and this week every day apart from Monday, because I had a bit of a hangover from last week's work, which I ended up having to do Sunday night, which is one of my bad habits I need to get out of. But every Tuesday onwards I've been up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's made such a difference in terms of the time I've got. This is my little one, who's similar age to your Albert. Keeps watching Coca-Mali all the time and singing all those silly songs. But so I think I just wanted to kind of say, I mean, I'm still struggling a bit at times. This week we've had 2 days when I've got up at 5, planned out what I'm going to do, you know, and then I've not done it. I've got kind of, I've been stuck doing a few bits and pieces, and suddenly the time has just gone, and I've got to run around getting the kids sorted and all of that, and I've missed my workout or whatever. But then I suppose I've got to realise my main North Stars. Hang on. My main North Stars, my main focus on this. If I didn't do anything on this course apart from log all my calories, and I mean, really, to be honest, just doing that, it's just kept me under my calorie goal. I've logged absolutely everything since the 1st of June, and I'm a big guy, so I've got lots of calories to play with. Yeah. I'm struggling to hit the protein as well, And I've noticed that when I've had a couple of protein shakes, I'm with your guys. I've had to run to the toilet, but yeah. So I mean, I had to carry on this journey, and so I'm really pleased to be accepted into the Mastermind, and I'm looking forward to carrying on this journey. I've got a six months of ahead of me, and I've been working through what my plans are. Right. And I just got to keep going. So thanks. Apologies if I've gone on a bit, but
no,
appreciate
don't worry. Well, we'll go through that as well, like next week anyway, with more focus on the planning side of things. I think what's good is your self-awareness and you raising your self-awareness in terms of where you've been and where you are. I think the thing in the morning, the thing to be is clinical in the morning and knowing exactly what the plan is. That like, you only have to sit around for 2 or 3 minutes in the morning and then you struggle to find the motivation to go. But remember, like I said to everyone, you're only 3 weeks into this. Eventually, this is going to be like second nature. You know, if you asked me 2 years ago, I'm going to be up at 4:15 every single morning, I'd tell you to like on your bike. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those processes that, like, for me, 4:15 is not early. Like, it literally isn't early for me. But that is repetition of that conditioning in my mind. Whereas I tell my friends to get up at 4:50 and they're like, you're rebelling. And they just don't get it. So for you, getting up at 5 will eventually become second nature, and being super productive you'll be second nature at all of those things, like workouts, your routine.
I wasted so much time watching, having a few drinks and watching, particularly after I got better from this thing, box sets and beers in the evenings became a regular, because the kids finally got the kids to bed, and I just wanted a bit of time to myself, and so I'd grab a beer, I'd put a box set on or whatever, and then the next day would just start with a kind of frantic run around, because I'd had hardly any, I'm getting the same amount of sleep now, but I'm knackered at 9 o'clock, so I'm getting the kids sorted a bit earlier, I'm getting up to bed earlier with a book or whatever, and by 10:30 I'm getting off, so I can get 6.5 hours plus, sleep, which is what I was getting before, but it's just moving the day that way,
100%. You just move your day left, like Monday to Friday I get 6.5, like, and Saturday, Sundays I don't even set my alarm. Like this morning, woke up at 6:30 naturally, so to me that's a 2-hour lie-in. You know what I mean? So I get 8 hours. I still go to bed at the same time. I fall asleep on a sofa past 9 o'clock. So, at the weekend I catch up. I get an extra 4 hours over the weekend, and then that sets me up for the week. So, but it's testing and adjusting over time. Tom, thanks for coming on. Thank you.
Cheers.
Is Brett back? We're down to the last page. Anyone else want to come on? A couple of guys. Here we go. Right, let's go Jamie and then Mike. Can you unmute, Jamie? That's it.
Okay. Hi, Jamie.
How you doing? You right?
I'm good, yeah. Just one word I think everybody will understand is resonate. Just so many things you've said over the time. I started on the 5 days, so I started on the May the 1st. So many things, you think, that's me. It's just that that's me moment when you realise that. And the 90-day goal, I think, for any goal, I think, if you verbalise it and tell somebody that's what's happening, that helps. A massive help, I think. I've got some big ones, but for health, I just want to lose another stone. I lost a stone since May the 1st. Amazing. I want to lose another stone. But another one is Route 66 across America.
Yes.
So, but working my way across. So I've got another job as a lookalike for American guy, Breaking Bad. So I can work my way across America, all well and good. And because of you, I started cooking. Okay, I saw you on a video somewhere putting some chicken in the oven.
That was chicken years ago. Fuck, bye. Where did you find that?
I saw it and I thought, that was easy. And now, for the first time in my life, I'm cooking. I'm doing stir fries, I'm doing all sorts of stuff.
Amazing.
And then since the first time, I have done no crisp, no cake, no chocolate. I don't want anything like that now. No ice cream, no junk food.
Good.
I really break the habit. I don't want it. I don't want a chocolate bar now. But the rules as well. The rules are really positive. My favourite 4 rules are no distraction, so you get caught away doing something else you shouldn't do, and proact rather than react. Another one is like I've done this car.
Oh, Jamie, you've muted yourself.
Seize the day, so make every day count. Yes. And you're thinking about going back to where you were, overwhelmed, drowning feeling, PTS, and just the what's the point mentality is so much healthier now, where you think, yeah, I can see a way forward.
Yeah,
it's just brilliant, mate.
Amazing, mate. I'm really pleased for you. And like that Route 66 is one of my bucket list things to do. So you have to keep me posted how that goes.
Yeah, brilliant,
mate. Thanks
and paintballing. You mentioned paintballing. That's what I do for the last 32 years.
It's what you what?
It's what I do. My company does paintballing.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking for it. I feel like everyone's going to gang up on me, but I've got a plan. Jamie, thank you for coming on.
Cheers.
Where is my man? Who else put their arm up here? Was it Mike? Yeah, there he is.
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, got you, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Not too bad. Just really enjoyed listening to everyone today, really. Feeling in a really, really good place, to be quite honest. Looking forward to the mastermind. That was sort of one of my goals when I joined, to sort of try and get onto the mastermind, because obviously no one knows what that involves.
Yeah.
When you first join. So, no, just been making some notes as we go through, really. I mean, morning routine, that's completely changed my life. Can't express how much that's changed my life. The accountability side of it, starting to apply that to my son as well. So he just loves Xbox and Fortnite.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
It takes over. So I'm just trying to just apply small little lists of accountability throughout the day.
Amazing.
And it's really helped out. The consistency. So the consistency for me is the big one.
Yeah.
It's completely changed my mindset. So I'm now at a point where I don't even have to think about it. So morning routine is automated. I wake up, I do it. The one thing I was doing though was doing things at the weekend, and I had burnout this week. So Thursday this week, Thursday just gone, energy levels just dropped. So I got up and did my morning routine yesterday, and then today I did what you've done. Let the time just slip away. Wake up. I knew I was coming on here for 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I feel 10 times better. I feel
great.
Back to normal.
Yeah, 100%. We kind of promote that in the mastermind. You can't be on this personal growth development thing 24/7, 365. Like for me, like Monday to Friday, for me, it's all in, right? Everything, like it's full on, everything that we're doing. And then the weekends, it's just like, if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably still be in bed. Like, if I'm honest, we probably would all still be just chilling out. And I think you have to have that downtime. And I have no structure. I have no routine. I have no plans in the morning unless there's a 5-day challenge going on. And we just go where the wind takes us. And I think that really, by the time Monday comes along, I literally can't wait to go. I'm hungry, ready to go. And that type of routine or that type of system or model really does it empowers you to want to get up and go again. And I quite happily admit when I see it's Thursday afternoon, I'm quite happy to see the weekend, because what I've noticed by doing my vlogs is that Fridays are really like tough days. They seem to be a drag. So I'm grateful for the weekend's break from it all, to tap out, come out and go back in.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, the other element, the one huge sort of breakthrough for me, which I've only sort of realised this week, is I think it was Dan who said, I'm not sure whether he's still on the call actually, is I've been in IT operations for 20 odd years, and I've just recently sort of stepped into, well, not recently, 2016, sort of stepped into the management elements. But I'm now, I want to sort of tell my story, as it were. Sort of say where I've got to, move into strategic management, something like that, or do I even want to work in IT anymore is another question. I think I'm evaluating that at the minute. I think it's time for a real change. I'm not quite sure how I get there at the minute. I'm trying to find my passion and attach that to something. And I've really
been working for yourself.
Sorry, that's something I'm trying to work out. I think I would really. I mean, COVID for me, I've been really, really busy because I've been trying to get everyone working from home. I work for I'm in the public sector, so we've got everyone working from home in like a 12-week period, which is great.
Yeah.
But then now I'm thinking, I'm working at home, I've got more time at home, I've got morning routine, I've got my health, I'm on top of things. I mean, as you know, I contacted you sort of middle of year last year, and I wasn't ready to actually take the journey. But obviously, when I come out of the 5-day, I realised I needed to move home, and I did. And then I've jumped back on the journey, lucky enough to jump on the 28-day through the competition. I was going to do that after the 12 weeks, but it's actually leapfrogged me forward, should I say.
Yeah.
That's the only area I'm sort of stuck with at the minute, because I think one challenge is, and I'm sure there's other guys in here who share this, is you sort of get sucked into the moving along with your life, and you sort of
comfortable.
Your income sort of it takes control.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you want to change career, you might have to take a dip in that, but it's how you take that dip as well. So yeah, I think working for myself would be something I'd really love to explore, but I'm struggling on getting on the journey with that at the minute. So that's where I am with that. So I've got a bit of a plan. I've got the 12-week plan to sort of, 12-week plan is establish what I want to do. So I have to move roles in work as well and try something different, which is, so that's taking shape. But yeah, I think the 90-day is establish what you want to do.
I think so. And I think as the process goes on, mate, and you become more confident, what's going to happen is over the rest of the year, you're going to start forming probably a new identity. You know, from the identity of 2 months ago to the end of the year, you're going to be a different guy from the start to the end of the year. And that itch that you have is either going to get more itchy or is going to go away. And you're going to be in a better position mentally, spiritually, emotionally, to be able to go, okay, and decision making will be one of those natural things that come along, because when you do go to work for yourself, there's lots of factors. You're like, okay, how much do I need to bring in? How much does it cost to live? You know, what's the plan? What's the first step? Start networking, start reaching out, and start asking those questions. But I think you'll know once you're on this process of growth down the line of what direction you need to go. You'll feel it. You just feel it. Just like, this is not, like, it's like in a relationship, right? When you know a relationship isn't right, you just feel it. You just know that this is not the right person you're meant to be with. And it's the same with your job. It's like, you know, money versus happiness. And I would say, how many years have you got left in your job before you retire?
Oh God, 27 years, something like that. 27
years of a job I'm not sure of, or 23 years of a job that I find passion and love and romance with. So, you know, when you do that equation, like, and you visualize, but when you really visualize it, can I do this for the next 27 years? Or can I maybe spend 2-3 years of having to go through the mill, but then on the other side of that, being my own boss, living my own life? Like, you know what I mean? But
yeah, definitely.
And that's what the mastermind will bring you, is that clarity with me helping you find that.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, can't thank you enough. It's been absolutely fantastic. That switch has gone, and it's obviously just finding you.
A long way since that time when you first reached out. So
yes, very, 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 very long way. Really dark place. So yeah,
amazing. Good for you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, dude. Would anyone else like to come on? Is everyone done? Okay. I think that's a wrap. Guys, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate you all for being here. I'll stick this up on YouTube. It'll be on a podcast by Monday at some point, so you can listen back to it. It's a good 2 hours. Oh my God. 2 hours worth of content for you to listen back to. And I'll see you for the last week next week. Laters.